Oh, hey everybody, it's Steve. Thanks for joining me today. Hey, in this video I'd like to go ahead and show you how quick and easy it is to start a salad greens container. Here I have a spent container from last year's carrots, or last fall's carrots. And here, as an example, I have a salad greens container with mixed greens, mixed leaf lettuces. This is about 4 weeks old. I started this and it's been mostly under artificial light for the last 4 weeks. There's been maybe 2 or 3 days it actually got to go out in the sun in the grow house. Some days that we had that were in the 40s. The grow house temperatures got up into the 60s, which is really nice, and they're just doing great. A couple more weeks here, we'll start to trim some of these off and start using them. These will continue to harvest, and we'll just cut them with scissors and let them grow back in. We'll cut and come again 2 or 3 times in stages, and we'll have salad greens for quite a while. But I'll go ahead and show you the new one I'm starting, because I want to go ahead and alternate these where I have a few weeks apart. I should have started this about a week ago so that I had them about 3 weeks off of each other, so that we'll have a constant supply of greens through the early summer and spring and early summer. But I'm going to go and do it today. So what I have here, it's extremely dry. The soil's pretty much spent because it was a full harvest of carrots through the late summer and most of the fall. And so I want to go ahead, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and take off about the top third of the soil, and then I'll go ahead and I'll amend that with a little bit of, I've got an organic tomato and vegetable plant food, which is a 553. Or I could, if I had some blood meal and bone meal, put a little mix of that in. I think that's primarily what this is anyways. And then I'll go ahead and I'll add some fresh topsoil on top of that. Since these are going to have relatively shallow roots, that combination should go ahead and feed these for their life cycle. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to go ahead and just loosen up the soil here, especially since it's so dry. So I'll just kind of bust it up. Because these were carrots, there aren't any roots left in here, so it's pretty easy to work with. But I'm going to be adding the nutrients there because there's not going to be much nutrient value left in here after those carrots had their season. So I've got this loosened up pretty well. I can do that by hand, or I can do it with a trowel, or I have this little nifty little tool that works good. And then I'll transfer this into a bucket. If I was starting this in a new container, I would just add my growing mix right into the container all by itself. I wouldn't need to do this process. I would, however, probably add a little bit of the blood and bone mix in there, or the vegetable plant food mix that I'm using. And I try to do everything organic, so I don't use any of the non-organic petroleum-based products if I can avoid it, which I can, so I don't use them. Okay, so basically I drop that down about a third. You see this top band here is as far as I'm going to fill that soil, and I'll explain that in just a moment why I do that, especially in these salad greens. So now I'm going to go ahead and get a little bit of that tomato and vegetable plant food. Just kind of sprinkle it in there. It'll add a little nutrient value to the lower soil and also give the roots somewhere to go and to absorb. I'll go ahead and I'll mix that in. And then I have the same organic growing mix, garden soil mix that I use for, actually I do all my starts in this as well, as opposed to using a plant starting mix. I like this better. The roots do well, plants start really well. They don't dry out as quick as some of those starting mixes do. And then I can container up with them. So I'll just go ahead and I'll add some more in here. I'll probably add 3 of these 4x4 containers. I'll break up any of the clumps that we have. This has got a little more moisture. The mix has a little bit more moisture in it than the old soil does. But I'm going to go ahead and water this in here in just a second as well. And I think this third one here should do the trick. Maybe a little bit more. Maybe about another half of the container. Okay, I'll kind of mix this in a little bit. Okay, there we go. And I went ahead and I filled that up to this line, which is about 1.5 to 2 inches below the top of the container. So now I've got that all set. I'll go ahead and put this on a watering tray. And because it's so dry underneath there, and because I'm going to be starting seeds directly in here, I want to go ahead and water this in really well. So I'll just water in through. This will probably be the only time I water in through the top, except maybe a little bit of misting to help those seeds stay moist when they're ready to germinate, or trying to germinate. Nice and steady, that way it kind of soaks down through. And hit it all the way around. Okay, there we go. And I'll just give that a second. See if I see some of that water starting to come down through the bottom. It was really, really dry, so I'll go ahead and, after giving it a second for that to soak down through, I'll go ahead and add a little bit more. The really important part here is that that top inch stays good and moist, because those seeds are going to sit up here practically on the top of the surface, and they need to stay moist and warm so that they can go ahead and germinate. Once the roots start going down, I'll be watering from the bottom anyway so that the roots have somewhere to go and the water can wick up through the bottom soil. So now that we got that watered in, I'm going to get my lettuce seeds. And these are a loose leaf. This happens to be a select salad blend. And I'll just kind of sprinkle them across the top just like I was sowing grass seed. Kind of edge to edge, trying to get nice even coverage. And I'm probably adding maybe a teaspoon of seeds. Pretty much the same consistency that you'd use when you're spreading grass seed. And I can always add a little bit more if there's some thin areas. Then I'll add a little bit more. Go ahead and tamp them down a little bit with my hand so I get nice good contact with that moist soil. I don't want to mess with them too much because I don't want to end up with seed on my fingers like I'm starting to do here. So get those loose. Then I'll use a little bit more soil just to kind of top dress it just a hair. Just to kind of hold them in place so when I mist them from the top, they'll stay moist. But not too much so that once those seeds start to sprout, they can get up and get to the light. So there we go. So I got that started. Go and add a little bit more water. I'm out of water here, so I'll go ahead and I'll use the sprayer once I get it where it's going. And there we have it. So we've got our seed started. We'll get this under the grow light. I'll keep the top. I'll spray it probably once or twice a day just to keep it moist so I can see they'll start to germinate. And then I'll also start watering from the bottom. Because that bottom soil is still really dry, I'll go ahead and I'll continue to add this tray until it stops wicking up that water. Then I know. And then I'll put it on its regular weekly or bi-weekly watering schedule that I do with the rest of the plants in the starting station. But that's all there is to it. These should sprout within the next 7 days, probably even less than that. And before too long, we'll have lettuce greens like this. You see these are getting really nice and full. A couple days in the sunshine, in the real sunshine, and those will just be booming. So that's it. It's that quick and easy. You have fresh greens at home. You don't need to buy them at the store. You know where they came from, you knew how they grew, and there's nothing quite like just going downstairs with a pair of scissors and having a fresh salad. So I thank you for watching. If you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, please leave them below. If you have any other gardening questions, please either leave them below or email me at steve@enjoytimegardening.com. I thank you, and if you're interested in more videos like this, please subscribe. I've got plenty more coming. Thanks for your time, and have a great day.